Dreadful Things, your one-stop shop for all things strange and unusual.
A tattoo studio, art gallery, and a unique gift shop that offers a variety of jewelry, healing crystals, herbs and resins, shirts, housewares, real taxidermy, animal and human skulls.
2226 Montana Avenue in the Five Points area. Hours of abomination are Tuesday through Saturday, 1 p.m. to 7 p.m.
Dreadful Things, where weird is wonderful.
Here's the microphone.
Is this thing on?
Yeah.
All communication lines are clear. Clear.
Communications are picking up the signal.
You are listening to Stay Tuned El Paso with Victor Cruz and Charlie Moreno.
The best thing to happen to El Paso ever.
The best podcast about El Paso related stuff by two middle-aged guys in a spare bedroom.
Violate you. You let me desecrate you. You let me penetrate you. You let me complicate you.
It's a jazzy version of 9 Inch Nails.
I like it. I've always liked it.
A little 70s funk version. I can't get my glasses on.
I was wondering if the heck you were professional. You're not.
I put my headphones on and then I tried to put my glasses and they were going all
over. Yeah.
One of these days we'll get the hang of this.
I've been doing it some 20 plus odd years. I can do it perfectly. In fact, at work I'll even wear my baseball cap from time to time.
I need more practice.
That's a pro right there, baby. You're listening to Stay Tuned El Paso, Victor Cruz, Charlie Moreno, and of course you've heard us talk about my 20-some-odd years working in radio over and over and over. So it's always a little bit hard for me to break away from that radio frame of mind into a podcast sort of frame of mind. But I guess we've been doing all right. What are we up to? Episode 23, 24?
23 now?
Right underneath 25 anyway.
I'll have to check, but I think it's 23.
I ran out to the car to go get the mic stands because that's just how we do things around here. It's not professional at all.
This is episode 23 now.
Nice.
And congratulations to our $25 gift card winner, Sarah Macias.
Did you get it out to her?
Yeah, I finally emailed it to her. It's a Visa $25 gift card so she can use it online or wherever they take Visa cards. But she said that she was actually listening to the show, doing dishes, and then she heard that we announced the winner, and in her mind she thought, ooh, that person better contact them. And she never realized that it was her name.
That's funny.
Yeah.
That's great.
It wasn't until a couple episodes later that she finally posted and saying, hey, I won. And I told her, well, I was about to give that gift card to a homeless guy. So thanks for checking it. But yeah, so she's got the $25 gift card. Hopefully we'll be able to do more giveaways soon. Stay tuned and make sure that you guys listen, make sure you guys share, and if we are gonna have a giveaway, we'll mention it on the show, or we'll do another one of those contests on Facebook where you just have to leave a comment with feedback or something like that.
And as always, we can't stress enough, we're looking into getting some advertisement. Obviously, we want to make some cash off of this now. We're having fun with it, but we want to make some money off of it as well. So if you're looking to advertise, whether you're a local business, know somebody local, work for a local business, or even some sort of national chain, hey, we'll take some restaurants off your hands too. We'll give away gift cards, coupons, we'll work all kinds of things out for you. Let's just get some advertising done.
And thank you to one of our sponsors, the New China Walk Chinese restaurant that we just ate right now. So delicious.
Charlie and I are like, I don't even want to talk. I'm so full. That was good stuff.
Carb coma.
I like to watch without mentioning some of the other podcasts, some of them that do video. And I know eventually we're going to get into video broadcasting and video podcasting as well, or video casting, whatever the case is. Yeah. But they look so professional. They're in a room somewhere with a table.
Studio. And
they got headphones. We're in my dining room / living room / one room apartment. The wash is going on right now. I'm making ice in the ice machine. Is this how it's done? Is this organic podcasting, I guess?
I'm telling you, if I see us like in an actual studio somewhere. And I've said this, I don't know if I've said it on the air, but maybe somebody from there is listening. The shops at Montecillo, you know, those vacant storefronts that they have there, they look great, and you can see the crowds going from the stores and the restaurants and stuff. I can see us broadcasting from there, recording our podcast from there, and then that way when we have guests, it's not like, hey, you want to come to my house? Because that's not creepy.
Yeah, I got a mop.
Yeah,
I got to clean up.
Let me put the dogs outside. And I feel like every time that I've talked to a couple of people that I wanted to bring on the show, and I'll say the names, Beto O'Rourke and Khalid, I spoke to their people, and each time that question came up, where? And I had to explain either Victor's house or my house. And I think a lot of them, they're like, no, we got to get security involved. Nah. So I think it would be nice to have a place that we can actually like have a schedule, like every Sunday at this time.
We're in there.
And if we have a guest, this is the address. We'll be there. And I don't know.
I know. Well, I mean,
it's just starting.
We're barely figuring. I mean, and you think, you know, we talk about this every time, but 6 months? How long have we been doing this? Less than?
It's been 6 months. Well, we started in June, I think. July, August, September, October. Wow.
Not even.
Wow, 4 or 5 months.
If we're lucky, if we're hitting 5 months,
Wow.
and we had a podcast let's be honest, there's been a podcast almost every damn week.
Yeah.
We've hit a podcast. So I think doing the show isn't it's not a problem. Let's get some sponsorships. I think we've proven we can do this show. So if you know anybody, any small amount of cash, really, any small amount of cash is going to help get your name out there, get your company, get your business.
Or a property.
Or property. Yeah,
if you
really.
have a place that we can sit down and record once a week, and you're okay with people coming out as guests and you know, I would love to have a place that we can just...
Because this MacGyver shit ain't happening.
It's a hassle trying to move all the equipment and again, I know we don't need this much equipment, but I like to overdo things.
I just really want people to get a grasp of where we are, where we're sitting. And if it sounds like a professional job, that's great. That's fantastic. The end product is nice and polished.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But we're sitting here in my dining room. There's Easter and Christmas stuff spewed about all over the place.
Yeah.
I'm not complaining. No, this is fine. We're having a good time doing it. And it's been nothing but fun. But I got to tell you, I need... my mind is elsewhere. I'm going to be perfectly honest with you, Charlie. Today, there's a couple of things going on as we record today, October. I don't even know what we are. October 20th,
22nd.
October 22nd. There's a big pay-per-view. Oh, I wanted to talk wrestling. I'll get to the wrestling here in just a little bit to get you queued up, and I got to get some info. But there's a big pay-per-view happening tonight for the WWE Tables, Ladders, and Chairs (TLC), and it's
you want to do the...
Yeah, I'm stalling so I can pull up some of the news.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, go ahead if you want to hit
Let's
it.
do it.
Yeah. Let's go. Victor's coming on, boy, he's ready to rock. Wrestling fanatics, man, they never stop. It's wrestling news with Victor Cruz. Oh yeah, let's go, come on, let's get the news. It's still real to me, damn it, don't go looking. Can you smell what Victor's got cooking? It's wrestling news with Victor Cruz. Oh yeah, let's go, come on, let's get the news.
The WWE has a pay-per-view today as we're recording, called TLC, Tables, Ladders, and Chairs. It's pretty much hardcore matches. I mean, you can use anything at your disposal, tables, ladders, chairs, pretty much just beat up your opponent as you go. Yeah,
any
any office supply that happens to be laying around.
Staplers.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. But the big news is it's one of their better pay-per-views. But the big news, and there's been a couple of what they call in the industry swerves. And legit swerves, a sidetrack, if you will. The Shield have reunited for the TLC pay-per-view. 3 members have gotten together as a tag team, 3-member tag team, and haven't been together for about 4 or 5 years. Well, now they've returned. That storyline.
And the Shields are, you said... 2 brothers?
No.
Okay.
No. But we'll get into that because the Shield now, as this major return for the first time, they had to put that on hold because Roman Reigns, who's a part of the Shield, has tested for this virus that apparently is running through the WWE right now. And it's basically, I don't know what the medical is, but it's basically mumps.
Mumps.
Yeah, about 4 or 5.
I was thinking you're going to say something like sexually transmitted.
No.
Just mumps.
No, just mumps.
What,
no, but I mean,
they all turned into 12-year-olds all of a sudden?
Things got real. Their lymph nodes blew up and stuff like that.
Wow.
But it's actually been confirmed that 3 of the performers now have this case of mumps. And it's changing the pay-per-view. So that says what? That says Kurt Angle, who hasn't wrestled in 10, 15 years, maybe 10, is now part of this TLC to go wrestle.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, which I don't think is going to happen. Now I'm talking storyline. I don't think it's going to happen. They're going to do something else to swerve it.
Do you think he's going to be using the dry erase erasers instead of the staplers?
He's a little bit softer.
Yeah.
He's a little bit older. He's a little bit in there.
He's not going to reach for the heavy objects.
The fact that 3 different wrestlers, and you talked about 2 being related. Yeah, 2 brothers actually haven't been on TV because of this infection now for about 3 weeks. So, I mean, let's talk about being on the road constantly, because we can agree, okay, wrestling scripted, fine, we get that. It's not a real quote-unquote sport. Okay.
That's been said a few times.
Let's beyond that, these are performers. Even if you want to call them actors, athletic actors, fine. But the fact of the matter is these guys are on the road every day of the week.
They're better actors than soccer players. I'll give them that.
They know how to take a fall, for God's sakes. You're on the road. You're spending time with these people that you perform with. You're confined with them all day long.
Yeah.
You're performing 3-4 nights a week, not just Monday night, not just Tuesday night, not just pay-per-view. You're doing house shows. You're doing all these things. Now you have an infectious disease. Now you have a virus, even if it's a cold or something as bad as you're older, the mumps.
Right.
How can that affects a whole change in plans for everybody? I mean, what if half your baseball team? What if half your football team? And as you get older, my understanding is, I'm not looking up anything right now, but as you get older, it can actually affect you more drastically. Even as a male, I think the older you get mumps, I think it also hinders the ability to reproduce. I think it has something to do with, don't quote me, but we'll do some quick research in a few moments. But I think obviously the older you get with any disease that you have to battle, it's a little bit more difficult. There's your blanket statement.
Maybe I should get the mumps.
Now.
Because I really don't want kids. It's birth control.
But I mean, so you're not much of a sports fan at all.
No.
Professional sports, you could give 2 flips about.
Right.
But you were if you're not, we've talked about it previously, mixed martial arts, UFC. You get into that. You can appreciate that.
Boxing when I was a teenager.
Well, the thing of it is that my point is, if a UFC fighter, no matter how, or again, a boxer or football player or basketball, pick your poison, pick your sports. If they get sick, I mean, they're sick.
Yeah.
And how do you deal with that when you have a major pay-per-view? What if pick a UFC fighter has a fight on Sunday night and he's sick? And let's be honest, since you said you're a boxing fan, 15, 20, maybe 25 years ago, the state of boxing changed with AIDS and HIV and having to be more cautious. You know, even the refs having to do the gloves, and if somebody's bleeding, there's a lot of precautionary measures that get taken. You know, now that's HIV on a very opposite scale of things, but still.
Wasn't there a boxer? Was it Morris that actually had contracted HIV? I can't remember. I think he was one of the guys that was in the movies.
Tommy Morrison.
Tommy Morrison. Yeah,
Tommy
right.
Morrison. Tommy Gunn from Rocky 5.
Didn't he contract AIDS? Was that?
He contacted something. He got something all right. Yeah, may have been AIDS. You might be right. It may have been HIV.
And that was 1996. So he had already been in Rocky 5.
Already a champ.
That was in 1990. And he actually returned to boxing in 2007 and 2008. So he had this was 10 years after testing positive. And then I guess he passed away at age 44.
Oh, that's right.
2013.
That's right. He did, in fact, die. That's right.
It's crazy.
So That's why, just going back into it, okay, haha, wrestling, pay-per-view, whatever. But the fact of the matter is these guys are sick. These guys are on the road, and it's causing major, major changes, not just in the pay-per-view. And, of course, that means change in money for the WWE. People may not subscribe to the pay-per-view tonight or may not continue with the network, however it is that they're getting their pay-per-view fix. Major things, even when it happens to professionals, even though I'm a lot like Charlie. I don't care too much for professional sports. Yeah. Pick a team, ride them out, whatever.
I've tried to get into it for the sake of having conversations with people.
And still don't care.
And for business, and that's still not enough motivation. I don't like people enough.
Here's the thing. I mean, I get, and again, we've talked about it. I get what WWE is. I get what wrestling is. It's soap opera. It's fun. It's mindless entertainment for me because I can sit down and watch it and buy into the storyline. And if I miss it for 2 months, I can jump right back in. There's not a lot to worry about. We had the big Canelo fight a month and a half, 2 months ago as we were recording. And one of the judges completely scored the fight way off. Come on. Some money was made there. Somebody paid off that judge. And that's not me being a spoiled sport about it. That's the truth.
Now, that's the question. Is that the athletic commission? Is that the actual athletes? Or is that the gambling business in Vegas that's run by the mob?
I'm glad you brought Vegas up because I don't think Vegas and the mob, I really think those connections are gone.
Gone?
I think so. The new mob in Vegas is corporate America. Legal mob, thank you. But not the mafia the way you would think that, back in the 50s, 60s, you go to Vegas and you didn't tell anybody. I mean, nobody knew you. You didn't know anybody. Yeah, and again, we're going to go, this is going to segue into everything so nicely. I like how this is going.
Yay, segues.
You're not a fan of Vegas the way I am a fan of Vegas.
Right.
I think if you went to Vegas, you and your lovely wife went with me and my lovely wife.
She's not very lovely.
Z is beautiful. What are you talking about?
No, I'm talking about
yours?
mine. Oh. I don't know if she listens, but I tossed things in there that only she would get. And
she hadn't said anything yet?
Not yet.
Okay. I'll text her later. Thank her for the marmalade. And by the way, you got to listen to this podcast. You guys need to go with us one time and do Vegas the way we do Vegas. Because once you this is what I tell everybody. Once you realize Vegas is a joke, once you realize that it's a facade, it's literally an oasis in the desert, then you can have fun. It's like going to the Wizard of Oz and seeing the man behind. Oh, okay, that's how they do it. Well, let's have fun.
I never thought that Vegas was real,
glitz and glam, and that's where the money is. And it's a joke. It's a facade. It's not what everybody has this idea of Vegas being. So once you believe that, once you see that, I've taken the red pill, as the case may be, then you can have fun in Vegas. And
so if we were to go with you guys, where would you take us?
Eat. Oh, we'd eat. We'd find all kinds of buffets? Cool foods. Not even buffets. I mean, I think the buffets are a facade. We would find a nice buffet so that you could say, I ate a decent buffet.
$1 shrimp cocktails.
That's all gone. But see, that's what I'm telling you. Charlie, that's what I'm telling you. The idea of that cheap mob-run Vegas is gone. It's all corporate because everything is expensive. And I mean, you go, holy shit, I'm going to pay $80 for dinner for myself? Well, yeah, that's what a buffet goes for these days. But you're getting quality. You're getting, steaks. You're getting salmon, elk, all kinds of crazy shit. We would take you to a nice buffet. I would ask you, what are the things that you like to do? And based on what you like.
Up until a few weeks ago, I always wanted to go to that place where you can shoot all the guns.
Yeah, yeah.
Are they still open?
Remember the story? Listen, and I'm not even trying to make light of or make fun of, but remember the story a few years ago about, I think it was like a 13, 12-year-old girl who accidentally shot her trainer.
That's right.
It was kind of outside of...
That was on video.
Yeah.
I remember seeing that. Yeah.
And there was a whole controversy about should kids that young be, the parents let her...
Is that where that took place?
Took outside of Vegas. And I thought at that time, those shooting ranges where you can go shoot an AK-47 or fire an MX missile or whatever the case.
Because they have 50 cals, they have the 44 Magnums, the Desert Eagle. I mean, those are heavy.
Believe it or
weapons.
not, they're still open. I guess people are okay with that. So if you wanted to do that, we would take you there. There's all kinds of cool little history things in Vegas that, you know me, I'm kind of a history buff, and especially when it comes to shit in Vegas. There's Atomic Liquors, which is probably one of the oldest freestanding liquor bars or liquor stores, but I damn near killed her.
Liquor? I barely know her.
It's been around since the 1950s when they were testing atomic bombs outside of Vegas. So that'd be kind of cool, and it hasn't changed. It's still got the same motif going. At the California casino, or is it, no, the Main Street Casino. There's a piece of the Berlin Wall in the men's restroom, so you can go take a leak. And you're pissing on the Berlin Wall. There's the International Mob Museum.
That doesn't sound very sanitary.
Well, I mean, there's a urinal. I'll have to send you as we talk about this. Okay. But still, why not piss on the Berlin Wall? I'll send you a picture of it so you can post it for this week's episode. In other words, once you get off the Strip, to be perfectly honest with you, if you and Priscilla went with us, we would do all these things off the Strip because there's so many cool things outside of that touristy gamble, drink, eat. In fact, that is the least that we do there.
Yeah.
Is the gambling and the drinking. We take you to go see Johnny, my buddy, the Toy Shack guy.
It's probably been about 8 years since I've been there on vacation. I've never been a fan of Vegas. I used to roll through there every now and then when I was doing comedy on the road. I just never got that appeal. And maybe that's part of it because usually when people go to Vegas, they talk about the Cirque du Soleil and
the strip
talk about
and
the buffets.
Yeah, hurry up and wait. I tell everybody.
Hurry up and wait.
Yeah, if you have a show, let's say you said, well, we want to see Blue Man. And I say, okay, Blue Man's at 9:30. You have to backtrack everything and go, we have to be at I guess it's Luxor. We have to be at the Luxor by about 8:45 because you're going to be waiting in line. So that means if we're going to eat, we got to eat by about 5:30 so that we have enough time to eat to travel to. So if we're going to have a buffet, we're going to have to stand in line at the buffet at 3.
And the other thing is I'm getting older, so I have to schedule in my bathroom breaks too.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to schedule that.
I'm not even laughing. Yeah. That's hilarious, but I'm not even laughing because it's true.
Okay, I'm going to eat at this time. That means we have to redirect to the bathroom by this time. And I don't even drink. I don't drink alcohol. And I don't know. It's been 8 or 9 years since we've been there.
In 8 or 9 years, I can guarantee you this much. The city has changed. The Vegas that you saw then is completely different now. Is it better? Is it worse? I don't know. That would depend on your experience that you would have with us in going. But there's so many. You say, what is there to do? There's so many museums. There's a pinball machine museum. You've heard me talk about this before, or maybe you haven't. But this guy retired.
Is there a wizard there?
This guy retired out of Chicago or somewhere up east, and he opened up and fixes pinball machines, and it's an actual museum, and he's got it set up as an arcade. And you go in, and whatever the cost of the pinball is, you pay that much, and it's the coolest thing in the world. He's been on Pawn Stars, he's been on Rick's Restorations, been on all these TV shows, and that would be something that I would take you to do. I've never done. There's something that I'm interested in, because if you've noticed, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. The reason why they came up with that slogan in the past 5, 6, 7, 8 years was because Vegas was trying to be a family destination. Everybody bring the kids to Vegas. Mm-hmm. Well, it took them about 3, 4 years to figure out when families come to Vegas, they're not gambling. We can give them all the attractions they want. We can give them all the cool things for the kids to do, but they're not spending money gambling with the kids. Yeah. Can't be on the casino floor or whatever the rules are. They just knew no matter what the parents did with the kids, they're not spending as much money gambling.
And pawn shops won't take children, right? You can't pawn your kids?
After 9.
After 9.
When there's nobody looking.
The safe haven law.
Just be sure. Yeah, is that what it is? Vegas.
Just drop them off. We no longer could care for them.
It's the Clark County law, I think. It's a Clark County thing. I'm not sure. So they got away from that family and started up the slogan, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. So again, it's kind of a throwback to that old 1950s, 1960s thing. There's a lot of more adult-themed stuff happening in Vegas now. And the one thing that I haven't been to is there is a burlesque museum in Vegas that I would love to go check out, because it seems like to me, back in January, by the way, we did a very cool atomic museum. It was sanctioned by the Smithsonian, and that was cool as hell, because they're talking about the dropping of the atomic bombs. If people don't realize this, before we dropped the bomb in Japan. Very basic story. Before we dropped it in Japan, we tested this in the Pacific Ocean. We had to stop testing atomic bomb droppings in the Pacific Ocean because, well, we all know Godzilla. Right. So we brought them onto the mainland.
Climate change.
Yeah, which, come on. Godzilla's probably, we'll take the blame. So we started dropping them in the deserts outside of Nevada before Las Vegas was really a metropolitan area. So people would go and have these bomb viewing drops or parties and dress up and have contests and stuff, not knowing, oh, yeah, this is atomic fallout, by the way, heading out this way, guys. Hotels and casinos. That's why there was like the Stardust. That's why there was all these great casinos named after the atomic drop. So there's a great bar out there called the Atomic. I would take you there. So then that was one thing that we did, but I haven't done this burlesque museum. Because let's be honest, topless shows, burlesque, that's always been Vegas.
Right.
You think about that.
Yeah.
And I think there's a new hot trend in burlesque now. I think burlesque is making a comeback.
So, pardon the pun.
So to speak.
Well, so what is burlesque? Is lingerie?
I mean, hey, look, now let's be honest. Back in my old days at the other radio station, I used to go to a lot of topless bars. Yeah. I think burlesque is a little bit more, or maybe a lot more, than just hanging out at a strip club somewhere. I think it also leaves a bit more to the imagination. Would that be more sexually, more sexy?
Nowadays it would be, yeah.
Than just flat
nowadays
out.
you can see everything that you want. So
shooting ping pongs out of my cooch. Is that? Yeah, that's not sexy, is it?
What is that? An eel? Damn Japanese.
Godzilla, I'm telling you, it goes back to Godzilla. I have friends that are, man, had I known that we were going to get into this topic, I would have brought them in. Burlesque on the Rio, I know, is a local troupe here in town that puts on burlesque shows with local girls and guys, and also nationally touring. I didn't know there was such a thing. They're at the Touch Bar and Nightclub from time to time. I'm giving them the free plug because we're talking about it, but I'm sure you can find them on Facebook, Burlesque on the Rio. Some really nice friends out there. And you've spoken with people too, haven't you? You've talked about these sort of boudoir photographs and lingeries and stuff.
Yeah, actually, last night I went out to Nequium, Pinup and Boudoir. Boudoir? Is that
boudoir? You got to give a little bit of a French boudoir.
Boudoir.
There you go.
I went out there to Nequium, Pinup, and Boudoir, and I spoke to Red because they're having an event there called Taboo.
I think a lot of people are really into that sort of thing. It's just not spoken of, again,
taboo?
in pub. Yeah, it's taboo. Let's listen to some of that.
I'm here with Red. We're here to talk about Taboo, an event that's coming out in November. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. Taboo is actually our anniversary party, and this is year number 4 for us. It's entitled The Gallery of the Forbidden, and originally it was an idea that we had to unveil our galleries that we had not shown before here in this photography studio. Since then, it has evolved into an all-night show complete with entertainment of things that have or still are considered to be forbidden. And we also have some hands-on stations for a lot of things that are counterculture that people wouldn't normally experience. So kind of different here in El Paso.
Okay.
This is Nequium Studios, and we are at 7100 Gateway Boulevard East on the corner of I-10 and Hawkins.
Okay. And when's the event taking place?
Our event is going to be November 4th, and the doors will open at 8 p.m., and we will have things going on until 2 a.m. Sunday morning. You can go to the website at nequiumevents.com, and we do have single and couple price tickets. There will not be couple prices at the door. It will be all singles at the door. So it's $20 a singles ticket or $30 for a couple. And at the door, it'll be $20 flat. And it's 18 and over. And yes, we do have bouncers. And yes, we are carding.
What is it about this event that makes it so different from other events that pass through El Paso?
Taboo has actually kind of become a grassroots movement to free El Paso from that kind of conservative mindset. And I'll just come right out and say it. Pretty much everything for that night is going to have some form of sensuality or sexuality around it. Everything from things that are forbidden, such as the LGBTQ community, all the way to the kink community. Hello, we've got 50 Shades that came out, and so now BDSM is something that everybody wants to get into. There's things such as hook suspension, body modification, you name it, and we have geared our event to be what we call vanilla friendly. So if you're over 18, you're welcome to come experience some of the things that have been considered forbidden in the past, or may still be forbidden. And it's a safe space to do that. It's judgment-free zone, and there's a lot of people here that are advocates in the different communities. So you can actually have a real conversation with somebody about, what the heck is that? That's a spanking station? Why would somebody want to get spanked?
Right.
And actually talk to somebody that lives that lifestyle.
And do you feel that El Paso is getting more open about it, or they're becoming more?
El Paso's fairly conservative, but I'm going to give us kudos here in this city and say that we're really starting to open up. The first time we held the event was about 150 people, and it's grown to well over 300 people now, and this year we expect even more. And we get a lot of messages through social media as well as the website asking questions, not about photography, but connection, just like you said.
Right.
They're wanting to find a safe space. They're wanting to find real people to network with. And hopefully events like this will actually offer that. And there's little kink in everybody. It's just whether or not you're willing to come out and negotiate that with others.
Right. Now, do you feel that some of the people that attend this event are here for the novelty of it, or do you feel that a lot of them are actually coming in to learn more about it, to actually maybe meet other people into the same fetishes?
I think the majority of the people that attend are probably here because of the novelty of it. There will be a percentage that are true fetishists or kinksters, as they like to be called. And those people that are not staffed here for the event that are kinksters, they come to, find new community as well. And there's great places online, but there's nothing like getting together and actually meeting face to face and seeing chemistry and somebody's, mannerisms.
Can you talk a little bit about the things that are going to be going on during this event? Because it's an all-night event,
right.
So something's going down.
Right.
So
at all times.
What can people expect when they actually come down here?
Sure. I'll break it down into three things. The simplest is that we will have our unveiling of our galleries. There's 5 artistic galleries, 3 of them photography projects from Nequium Studios, and then 2 of them are from other artists that we wanted to bring in. And then we have our stage performers, and that starts at 8 and goes all the way till 1:30 in the morning. Our stage performers are actually anything from burlesque to drag queens, stand-up comedians, hook suspension. We have all manner of things that are odd happening on stage. And then in the back rooms, with an extra consent form that you sign, you can experience what we're calling kink exploration. There are 10 different stations that feature different kinks that there are experts in that station. It's going to be fun. It's going to be kind of like a little game, and you get to decide based on, spinning the wheel, what it is that you're going to experience, and it's all on a volunteer basis. If you just want to sit and watch and let your inner voyeur out, you can. If you want to be the exhibitionist, you can also do that.
It's a real party when there's a consent form.
Indeed it is. And so based on the SOB, the Sexually Oriented Business Laws.
That's actually what it's called, the
yes,
SOB.
Yes.
Damn you, Ted Cruz.
And they also are affectionately called the lewd and lascivious laws. We have a consent form that you sign, and it's just to cover everybody because even though there's not going to be, said sex or penetration here for that, there may be consensual touching. And there may be experiences that you actually have to know that, yes, you've given permission to do this.
Can you tell us a little bit about Nequium? What is Nequium? Besides the event, what else do you guys do here at the studio? I mean, you guys are open for business all year round, obviously. What kind of clients are you looking for? What kind of services do you guys provide?
Nequium Pinup and Boudoir is actually a still photography studio. We specialize in pinup, boudoir, and soft fetish photography. Our demographic is generally women over 30. However, we welcome anyone that's over 18 and male, female, or any other gender identification. We have done many different options, and we're known for our artistic quality that we put here.
If you have a couple that's interested in taking some photos, they can contact you guys, schedule something, come in, and do you guys provide wardrobe and makeup or anything like that?
We have a hair and makeup specialist. She stays the whole entire time. You get your hair and makeup done here in studio, and I do the model coaching and the set design as well. And then we have Frank, our photographer and editor. And so you come in here, and we have a minimum of 10 different sets that our clients can choose from at any time, and we brainstorm, come up with a vision of what our clients want when we first do a tour and what we call the creative, and then we schedule a time to come in and do the shoot. We don't provide the costuming because it's intimate.
Right.
The fetish photography, we have a dungeon now that you can get yourself photographed in. We also carry gear made by kinksters for kinksters. So if you want to purchase a set of hobbles and be photographed in it, and then give a book with all your photographs and the hobbles to your honey as a surprise, by all means, we can do that here.
Wow. So you guys have shackles, you guys have lingerie, you have all sorts of cool stuff.
We are the best kept naughty secret in El Paso.
Can you talk a little bit about what you guys are going to be doing in the future after this event is said and done? What other types of things do you guys have to bring some of the people in this scene back to the studio?
Sure. Aside from always offering our photography that we have here, we host once a month Vegas stiletto chair fitness classes. Those are always tons of fun. We have women's empowerment groups here. We are looking at doing a maternity fair for maternity photography, as well as all kinds of other things to empower the moms that are out there. Then we have our Kinkology series, and that's classes that are taught by kinksters to help the vanilla crowd and the curious, the kink curious, to come in and learn how to do something safely. And so we'll probably be offering those in the future as well.
That's great. Okay, so as a reminder again to the Taboo event, one more time before we check out.
So you can go to nequiumevents.com, Nequim events, and purchase your tickets there. It's November 4th, starts at 8 p.m., and we will have things going on until 2 a.m. Sunday morning.
So that's going to be November 4th, and again, it's Nequium, Pinup, and
Boudoir.
I don't want to say bidet.
No. That's a whole different fetish. That's a whole different kind of French thing going on.
Russian hookers. But this coming weekend, we have a ton of other things going on.
We'll talk about some of the stuff coming up.
Saturday, October 24th, the 3rd annual Sun City Showdown. This is a car show brought to you by Southwire and Ground Dwellers Truck Club of El Paso, one of El Paso's biggest car shows with custom rides rides from all over. Lowriders, 4x4s, classic cars, hot rods, and even bicycles. There's going to be a limbo contest, and get this, a milk chug contest. Milk chug contest.
That's an old radio bit. Remember that bit? There's a
you
bit.
Drink a couple gallons of milk and win a wee.
Very close. Listen, I got it. You just set off something in my mind.
Yeah.
The human body cannot consume an entire gallon of milk. You cannot sit down in one setting and drink a gallon of milk. Now, don't ask me why. I think it's because of all the sugars and the enzymes in the milk that you put in, but and I mean with no fair warning whatsoever, you're going to throw up. You're going to throw up milk. Oh, yeah. I'm starting to gag because we did it. We did it on the air.
Filmy thing
right in
your
the back.
throat.
Oh, don't start. I'll get a gag. We did it.
Speaking of fetishes.
Yeah, or filmy things in the back of the throat. And the guy who did it, I don't know if you're friends with him, Alex from way back, the other radio station he's worked with, Alex Chavez. He did it, and talking to him the way we're talking, and he just leaned over. And not even half a gallon. And it's not chugging. It's just finish a gallon. Your body cannot finish. And I want to say it's whole milk, not even 2%. You cannot put down a gallon of milk. So when is this?
Do we have to do a disclaimer here? Okay, if you guys are listening and you attempt to drink a gallon of milk,
it's not ours.
It's not our fault.
You're the dumbass.
You take this shit. And it's yours. It's all you.
You own on this. But when is that lowrider show so I can see that? That's what I want to see.
That's the price of admission right there.
Yeah.
Saturday, October 28th. This is going to be. I don't even know where it is.
I'll get a hold of Mondo, our lowrider friend. Lowrider Mondo. I bet you he's a part of all that.
I don't know. I copied and pasted all of this stuff, and there's no location here.
The studios smelled like baby. It smelled like, even though he hit the trash can, it just stunk. It was gross. So yeah, we do not recommend you doing the milk gallon chug contest or holding down, but if you do, send us video. I guarantee you you cannot keep a gallon of milk down. So as we're wrapping up today, the recording is coming out right before Halloween, so let's just cover a few of the things that I was thinking about. You got me thinking Halloween, masquerade balls and stuff like that. You know, when people dress up in a masquerade style and the masks that have the long nose, the snout, the bird looking. Yeah. You know what those are? Why that mask?
No.
Back in the Victorian days, those were the doctors. And they would take those, they would wear masks like those. Don't ask me how I know this, but every Halloween I have to share this fact. They would wear a mask like that and stuff the nose part filled with spices and herbs and stuff so that as they dealt with disease and open bodies. So those are always doctors' masks when you see that. And it makes the mask at Halloween that much more creepier when you think of the true purpose of what that mask is about. You think, oh, it's a takeoff of a bird or whatever. No, it was a doctor's mask. They would fill that nasal part with stuff so that they couldn't smell the disease and the decaying bodies and stuff and surgeries. That was number one. Number two, do you get into haunted houses at all, going out to the
I haven't been in a long time.
Jumping scared deal?
Well, I don't really get scared from that, but I remember one of my most memorable times at a haunted house was probably when I was about 19 years old. We went to this haunted house put together by a church, and it was off of Gateway. I won't say the name of the church, but it was free to go in there, and they have different rooms.
Is this the one where they tried to convert you or show you that? Wow.
Yeah. And they had different scenes. You would walk into one and they would have a girl committing suicide by hanging. You would walk into another room where they would have like a satanic sacrifice of a virgin or something like that.
Didn't they have like an abortion room?
There was a scene where they were performing an abortion. There was another room where they had some type of surgery, a sex change operation or something like that going on. And
I know what you're talking about. I'm not even going to mention the church or the organizations because there's a few of them that would do it. But let me ask you, was it real people acting out these scenes, or was it like a movie that you would go by and see?
No, this was live actors, and they would scream at you, and They would reach out for you. I remember the one that was attempting suicide with the rope around her neck. She had some type of harness behind her, but as she would knock the chair off and she would fall, she would actually try to reach for the crowd and start screaming.
They'd blame you or something. They'd almost guilt you into what they were doing.
Right.
If I remember.
And you know what? There was another scene. I just remembered this. There was a scene where there's a guy sitting on his bed with a shotgun, and they're playing heavy metal music, and they have the purple light and the lava lamp and stuff, and then the lights would go off, and then you would hear just the big bang and the flash, and then they would turn the lights on, and he would have blood all over him and everything. And
a lot of production. A lot of production value.
I'll tell you, the haunted house itself was pretty creepy. The ambiances of it was pretty creepy. And there, I remember the human sacrifice one. There was this guy dressed up in this crazy horn costume, like this mask with horns on it.
Kalima.
And a robe.
Kalima.
And then he would be stabbing this lady on the table, and then there was a guy squirting water with a water bottle, so it felt like you were getting the blood
I gotcha.
on you.
Wow.
And then after that was maybe like 10 minutes or less, and then they lead you into this parking lot which just fenced around with a canopy, and they would start to preach
a revival.
To you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they would tell you don't have to stay. But if you want to leave, you can go out this door, and there would be a couple really big guys just standing by there. And I remember this was when I was still I want to say it was like 16 or 17 actually. It was like around that age, because it was me and other high school friends, and some of us just stayed there just to listen to them and basically troll them. And we started talking back and everything, and they got really aggressive. And to the point where we're like, nah, let's just leave, because this is getting
out of hand.
This is just
it's ridiculous.
really bad.
Yeah.
But that was my most memorable one. I've been to the rock stations, haunted houses, and stuff like that, and nothing ever does it for me. But I always go back to that
because of the production value of it, because it was real, so to speak.
You knew it was fake, but it was creepy enough to make you think.
Real life is creepy.
Yeah.
Real life enough
and that's
is creepy.
The thing. There was no monsters. It was like regular, situations. And
I don't get into them. The haunted houses or the jump and scare stuff, only because I get it. Okay, I'm going to turn the corner and there's a guy hiding in the corner. He's going to jump out and scare me. All right, I get it. And at the end of the maze, in the smoke-filled room, there's a chainsaw guy.
Right.
He's going to chase me out of the building. I get it.
And there's no chain.
Yeah, exactly. But that scares me. Let's just not even deal with it. You know what I mean? But I will say two things come to mind as I mentioned this. One time, the rock radio station that we're talking about here in El Paso, we all know which one, put on a haunted house. They do it almost every year. I think there's been a few years without. But they did it one year at the theaters at Cielo Vista, the outdoor theaters, before they reconverted them back into Cinemark. When they were General Cinemas way back when, and it was an abandoned theater. And they did it in there, and that was scary, because the last thing that you saw as you went through the lobby and the snack bar and here this twisted turning thing and the spinning vortex wheel room and all this, but the last thing that you went through is you open the door and you're standing at the back of the movie theater, smoke-filled, and I think the screen had a white screen, and it's smoke-filled, and you see nothing but empty chairs, and you go, oh, shit, there's the exit. And I know shit's going to jump out from the chair. Oh, God. That was fun. That was scary, if you want to talk about scary. But I was reading about all these great places to go to. Again, Vegas has some great stuff. Chicago puts on some South Carolina places. But there's this new take, I guess, on the haunted houses where you basically sign a waiver.
Oh, I've been to one.
And they can do anything they want to you. They can grab you. They can pretty much just snatch you away and spit on you and throw blood and guts on you.
Right.
Okay, if I was into haunted houses, that's the one I'd be doing, because that's fucking scary.
Right.
That's where they blindfold you and they're screaming and literally almost punching you.
I went to one near Killeen, Texas.
I think that's one of it. It's almost like a chain. If I could do more research, I'd find it. But yeah, you have to sign a waiver to get in.
This was one of those that was actually in a real slaughterhouse.
Yes.
They did an actual haunted house, and it's multi-levels. But part of it, you start in the main entrance, and then there's these latex walls. They're walls, but made out of latex. And people will start sticking their hands out. And it's actually stretching to the point where they actually make contact with you as you're walking through this long hallway of latex walls. And then I remember once you get to the end of it, there's a huge drop off, and all you can do is cross a catwalk.
Yes.
And then this is an old slaughterhouse, so the catwalk is really narrow. There's a couple handrails right next to you. It's a snug fit, and you can see between the steps. You can see down all the way, and there's purple lights, the black lights and stuff. And then as you go across to the other side, that's where they have the different scenes and stuff. And then you basically work your way down to the street level floor.
Exit out.
Whatever. And and the thing about it is they have different scenes. So they have like really loud techno music in one. It's like a nightclub, but you have people that just pop out of nowhere,
right? And
you're disorientated because the strobe light effect and all of that stuff, and the loud bass music, and out of nowhere you'll just see a face just turn towards you, and they will touch you, and they'll actually push you in the direction that you need to go. But that one, I think I paid. It was me and a couple of friends, comedian friends. I think we paid like $30 a person or something like that.
Yeah.
It was expensive, but that was fun. I'm waiting for the day that there's a haunted house like that here in El Paso.
There's one in Vegas. I forget what it's called. Jesus, like 666s or something. If I could look it up, maybe for next year or some shit. But they actually run you. There's 3 different scenarios that you go through, and they actually bury you. They run you through as if you die and put you in a coffin. And it's a death simulator. You know me. You know me already from our previous lunch conversations. My skin's crawling.
We had lunch. Vic and I had lunch with Rudy Vasquez, friend of the show, longtime friend of mine, and we were talking about how Vic really has a phobia about talking about death.
I have a phobia of death, and now it's creeping into talking about and so, not so much contemplating, but just talking about it.
So how you say that this was the type of haunted house you would go to?
Not that one. Not that one. I'm going eventually. I don't want to know, but I mean, it opens up so many. Do you want to know what happens when you die? Do you want to feel that sensation? And I'm not talking about the morning and people are going to miss you. I'm talking about this is it, being buried alive.
Serpent of the rainbow type.
Yes, absolute Jacob's ladder. Are you kidding me? Do you want to know that? The feeling of being in the coffin? And it's not a claustrophobic thing. I don't think I'm claustrophobic, but you can't get out. And they're pouring dirt on you. And they're doing, if I can find it, I'll have to find it so you can type it up in the comments of the show. But there's those type of haunted houses. There's the type of haunted house where you have to sign waivers. And they're literally doing terroristic acts to you. They're taking you, they're blindfolding you, they're screaming and yelling, throwing guts and blood. That's the kind of haunted house. If I was into haunted houses and don't nobody sit there and say, Vic, I know where it's at, come by. I'm not going. I get it. Yeah. But that would be the shit. Okay, if you're going to pay for the experience, pay for that experience. The death one, I don't know about. If you want to do some advertising with us and become one of our friends, it's that easy to become our friend. Just advertise. Contact us in the comment section here, or even inbox us on our Facebook. I said our comment section here. I meant our comment section on the Facebook app, on the Facebook site. And inbox us as well. We'll work out some really cool things if you want to become a title sponsor, if you want to sponsor, you want to have a commercial in, or you just want us to give you a read or a mention. Let's talk money. Let's talk about getting some advertisement in if you're a business who wants to advertise, or maybe even on a national level. If you work for a company there, they want to advertise as well. We'll be happy to talk to you and get some of that information out to people. Make sure you like our page, pass on the information. More downloads equals more listeners equals more podcasts and more podcasts means more of me and Charlie talking shit all day long. Hashtag us if you've joined in on the conversation. Hashtag STEP. Thank you guys so much that you've been downloading and listening and sharing the information. Keep it up. It's really amazing when Charlie comes to me every other day or so and says, here's this many downloads. Here's this many downloads. Here's this many downloads. It's great to see all this fun in actual real time. So you guys keep doing it. Keep sharing it. And if you have any comments about anything you want us to talk about, again, share with us. We have no idea what to do unless you tell us what to do. Even if it's good or bad, let us know how we are doing. Anything else you want to add?
Yeah, special thank you to some of our Facebook likers. Julie K. Vasquez, Nicole Otero, Samantha Hill, Jacob Marmolejo, Rudolph Barra, Hector Delgado, Edward Gonzalez, Sam Aguirre, John Hoover, Juanita Esparza. Those are some of our newer likes on our Facebook page. Stay tuned, El Paso on Facebook. Thank you to everybody that's listening. Please share our Facebook page, share our podcast, and let us know what you want to hear, and we'll talk about it.
We're open to any idea, even doing podcasts in front of an audience, maybe having you come hang out with us somewhere just to watch to see how it's all done. Keep sharing, keep liking.
I think we're done.
Okay. More Chinese food?
More egg rolls.
Make more egg rolls. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you. Stay tuned, El Paso. Victor Cruz, Charlie Moreno. See ya.
See ya.
You are listening to Stay Tuned, El Paso with Victor Cruz and Charlie Moreno.
The best thing to happen to El Paso ever.
Did I tell you that the other day I was going down only Trevino?
No, really? What happened?
It was really salty.
It was awkward because he's 80 years old. There it is. That's our podcast, everybody. It was just one build-up for that joke. Good night. We'll see you at episode
23 minutes.
24.
New record.
We'll see you at 24.